So guys, I have this video here from the great Gassi that is called My Predictions on the new Path of Exile 2 Druid League. And I want to watch the video because with his predictions, we also get time to talk about our own predictions. We can agree or disagree with his predictions. And also because if you look at the thumbnail, and this is the part that interested me a lot, he is looking at the in-game tooltip for the shapeshifting and the talismans. So that is something cool that is there, right? Let's check it out, man.
There it is. I'll show you again. Hold that Alt, click on quality. You get this menu up. In here, you have a few other things that are underscored. You click on martial weapons. Martial weapon can be used attacks, axes, bows, claws.
Okay, so we can also get claws. We don't know if we are going to get them right now, but they are in the tooltip in the game right now. That can change, that can be deleted, that doesn't guarantee claws are coming, but it is a big hint. And it says, claws are one-handed melee weapons that require dexterity to equip. So these are not going to be the Druid weapons because Druid is strength intelligence. Claws can be dual-wielded with another claw, but cannot be combined with other equipped items in the offhand. Okay, that is cool, Claw attacks are commonly fast and cause bleeding. Good data point in there. I am a big bleeding fan. Let's go. So we know that all of this is martial weapons, not magic things like the wand and the staff, right?
Which says dexterity. The dexterity weapons can be dual wielded with another claw, but cannot be combined with other equipped items in the offhand. Crossbow, daggers, flails, mace, quarterstaves, spears, swords, and talismans. Have a look at talisman.
That is why everybody is so sure that the thing is for talismans, because it is literally in the game. So I believe it, man. I believe it.
Talisman, a two-handed melee weapon that requires strength and intelligence to equip. Talismans allow you to use shape-shifting skills. Although each talisman is associated with a specific shape-shift form, every talisman allows you to use skills from all forms.
So how do we interpret this, guys? Do we interpret it like the talismans are like wands and staffs right now, in the sense that they have a skill associated with them that gives you the transformation? Or are we thinking that they just, because it says every talisman allows you to use skills from all forms, so basically the skills are in the forms, or the forms are skills, and then the talisman is stronger with a specific shape-shifting form? I don't know how to interpret this, man. I don't know how to interpret it. Because if you say, no, the transformation is given to you by the staff, then how are you going to use the skills from other forms if you are not using that talisman? You understand what I'm saying? It wouldn't make sense. It is making this exception because it is possible to get the other skills from other transformations while using the talisman. But if it is given to you with the talisman, then you can't do it. It implies the skills are given from gems. But I don't know. I am speculating at this point. Maybe it is worthless, all this speculating. We will find out when the thing drops.
Shapeshifting changes you into a non-human form. Shapeshifting skills still use your character's stats as normal, unless otherwise specified. Using a skill that is not compatible with your shapeshifting.
Attack moves are in the skill gems and transformation forms in the talisman.
Your form will automatically revert you to human form. This is in game right now. Hey guys, Jazzarus TV here with compatible with your shapeshifted form.
Shapeshifting changes you into a non-human form. Shapeshifting skills use your character's stat as normal unless otherwise specified. People wanted this because people want their weapon to impact their shapeshifted form, right? Using a skill that is not compatible with your shapeshifted form will automatically revert you to human form. So that goes with what we are talking about, right? There are skills that you need to be in that form to be able to use them. At least in the current form. This can change. Nothing in here. Don't think, by the way, that because this is in the game, this is forcefully official. They can change this. Early access game for something that is unreleased inside of the early access games, they can completely change this if they want. Like, they can even change the name talismans, because we already have talismans in the game that are usable right now, which are the Soccerabels from the Asmedia spirits, the wisp mechanic. So maybe they change or the name of the current talismans or the name of this talisman, but they are functionally the same. Like everything is subject to change, but in its correct form, it seems like it is going to be like that.
Automatically reverted to human form. This is in game right now. Hey guys, Jazzarus TV here with another Path of Exile 2 video to talk about the super hyped up 0.4 launch coming in December. I'll personally be running a subathon for this event, similar to what we did last year, and we're making it bigger this time. My little sister's being flown down and everything. It's gonna be fucking wild, I'll tell you that much. Anyways, I'm gonna go through my predictions, expectations, and what I think is gonna happen with the 0.4 release and some pretty juicy stuff that we found in the data mine information. And before we dive into the video, if you happen to enjoy this type of content, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment down below. It helps the channel. Let's dive into it. Dude. When it comes to the data mine information, I have a little bit of a bunch of information here that we picked out from the data files, which is talking about a metadata monster where a wyvern, which is brother, that is why people are saying that the wyvern is coming, because it was data mine, dude. Look, metadata monsters were wyvern. Dude, I don't want to be a wyvern. The wyvern sucks dick, by the way. I did a tier list where I ranked all the possible that people are imagining right now. There can be other ones that are not on the list, obviously. But all the transformations that people are speculating, and since people are speculating about the wyvern because of this data mine, I put the wyvern in there. But to me, the wyvern is an E-tier transformation, almost F-tier. It sucks. I don't want to be a fucking wyvern. I don't want to be a dragon. I don't want to be any of that shit. Give me the tree. Give me the fungus guy. Those are the ones that I want to see, man. Referencing speed modifiers. It's referencing the animation of running backwards, turning around with a wyvern form. It also has a fixed run layer base forward, slow walk additives. There's some placeholders for how to walk backwards with these in the information file that we have in GGPK, for example. There's some taking hits flinches, death stuff, taunting, flinching forward, backward, left, and right. Like, there's so much information here as placeholders that is referencing the idea of us being able to transform into a wyvern, which honestly sounds amazing. Now I'm gonna leak.
What the fuck, Gassy, dude? No, the wyvern sucks.
Start with a druid, 100%. Like, I will be doing that. Whether or not I'm gonna start with minions, it's probably going to happen.
You are going to play minions 100% because you are going to have the wolf, the little wolves around with you, the pets, minion wolves. That is going to be the case, man. You are going to make an awesome pack of wolves minion build, dude.
But I will be making a wyvern build for sure if this is true. And we also see some other things like a dodge roll. We have a wyvern swipe. We have there was another thing here: swipe, 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 empowered swipe. There's a wing blast. There's a flame breath, and there was one more we saw. I think it was electric somewhere. Where, oh, they're right there. Electric spit.
Okay, that ability does sound cool. Electric speed. That ability sounds cool. I have to be honest, man. You guys know that I am always honest. Yes, I don't like the wyvern form, but an ability called electric speed, okay. Okay, you have my attention. You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
I have no idea what these things are referencing, if there's any references to some sort of abilities that we might see, or if it's just information that's placeholders in the files, because we've seen some other things, like there's a summon demon magus, which I'm going to show you. PoE2DB summon demon magus, which is in the database information as well, which we have no idea what this is at all. There's no information about this in game, but it is in the files, and we have no idea what's going to happen here. That's kind of wild. What we do know is that into 0.2 they actually made a change to this skill where they increased the intelligence requirements. I'm wondering, maybe that was a generic change that did across the board and just happened to apply to this, or if they manually did this, I don't know, but it seems more like a generic thing they changed for something that's active.
This can be really cool. Like, brother, it casts the socket of the spells in order, so you can probably create some crazy combos with the mouse on top of yourself, if this comes to the game, that we don't know, obviously.
In the game that affected this as well. And this is the only information we have on this, but we don't know. But it does say attack with a one-handed sword on hit audio, demon, medium movement speed, not dex, not strength.
If it needs a sword to be played, then it won't come, because I know that a lot of you guys want swords. And I want swords too, man. I doubt it that we are getting swords in this patch and we are getting the druid at the same time. No way in hell. No way in hell.
I don't know. I have no idea, but things like that is in the files and we haven't seen them come to fruition in the game. Either way, my prediction list goes as to following. When it comes to the druid specifically, we are expecting there to be a bear form. We've seen that. We are expecting there to be a wolf form based on the teaser video, of course. And I am obviously, based on the information we see in the GGPK files, expecting there to be a wyvern form as well, which excites me.
Fuck the wyvern. All my homies hate the wyvern.
More than any other form in the game, including the demon form. I also think that we're going to see the druid starting with either a talisman as a starter weapon for shapeshifting purposes, or they're going to give us a voltaic staff for lightning bolt, because it seems to be lightning / fire related elemental focus from the class, and therefore I think that's kind of the starter weapons I'd expect. I think that the starting skill will either then be a volcano, or it will be the shapeshifting skill if we do start with a talisman. I think when it comes to minions, my expectations is obviously wolves. We know they exist. They're basically confirmed. I think that we'll see some other minions as well in the form of maybe a bear, which I think if they do,
it would be cool. Hey, I would like it if you have a bear companion where you only have one big bear, right? And he's going around with you and he's a companion, right? Like if you are Rexar in WoW, that you have the one big bear that goes around with you. That would be cool. I would like that a lot.
Would be like a companion, similar to how the Infernal Hellhound from the Infernalist is a companion. And I hope, this one is a little bit of a question mark here, but I do hope that they do dive into a bit of poison theme as well with the druid, at which point I think we might see some.
You are thinking the vine from Diablo 2, right? In Diablo 2, you had a vine underground that you can summon.
Some sort of minion related in the category of insects for poison application, maybe a scorpion, maybe a spider, or maybe a vine creeper.
There you have it. He said it. He said it.
But a druid will come with 2 ascendancies is my expectation. I don't think we'll see all 3 ascendancies. So it's more likely that.
Don't jinx it, man. Jazzy, don't jinx. Jazzy, don't jinx it, man. I also think that it is likely that we don't get the 3 ascendancies. But I want to be optimistic, man. I want to get all 3 ascendancies. Just give me the 3 of them. Don't be like that, man.
I believe that we're going to see one shapeshifter ascendancy that is more focused on the shape-shifting approach, and one caster ascendancy, since they don't have any specific ascendancy choices that says, well, this is a summoner ascendancy or this is a melee ascendancy. They want to keep their ascendancies to be more broad. I think we'll see one for shapeshifts in general, and I think we'll see one for casters in general, diving into maybe earth for physical, fire and lightning. Maybe there's some poison, I don't know, we'll see. But I don't think we're going to see all 3 ascendancies for the druid. And obviously new weapon, I do believe we're going to see the talisman being introduced based on what we've seen in game. Is shown on the tooltip in game right now, as I showed you earlier. Again, shout outs to Piotr for showing us in this video, and they are referencing shapeshifting for the talisman. On the other hand, moving over to 0.4 predictions, I think that we're going to see some massive passive tree changes and additions.
I agree with this, because just because of the introduction of the druid, there is a necessity of reworking the slice of the tree that the druid spawns in, which is the strength intelligence side of the tree, right? If you go to the game right now, that slice of the thing is dog shit, uber dog shit. It is way behind all the other parts of the tree. That is one of the reasons why the druid is so important for the game, the Templar as well, but we are getting the druid first. Basically getting a strength intelligence as a class, because that forces them to address this issue, which is that part of the tree being dead. So they forcefully have to improve that part of the tree because we are getting the druid, you know. So it is a given that this is happening. We know that the fire element needs a lot of love in the game, and fire is associated with the strength. Druid is partly strength, so the druid has to be good with fire. I hope that fire gets a lot of love. The Druid also has some lining stuff, but we are bored of lining, right, guys? At this point, we don't want more lining. It is the moment of fire to shine.
Obviously, with the Druid coming in, and we'll probably see some shape-shifting stuff and whatnot on the northwestern part of the tree, the strength int part of the skill tree. So it's pretty fair to expect that. I also think that the Atlas tree is going to see some additions, changes, or maybe even a complete rework, because the statement that 0.4 is going to be an endgame focused patch. Outside of the addition of a class, they've said endgame is the focus. Maybe some changes to towers, maybe some changes to how we engage with the endgame overall. I have no idea, but because of these things,
I do agree with this. Since they are doing an endgame rework, they need to address the Atlas tree. And guys, I will be honest with you. If you ask me, what is the number one thing besides the Druid and the transformation and that, like in the game how it is right now today, what is the number one thing that you want to see change in the game is the Atlas tree. The Atlas tree needs a complete rework. And every time I come back to play PoE 1, I am reminded of how superior the Atlas tree in PoE 1 is. How you can customize your entire experience. You can block mechanics that you don't want to see. You can put the mechanics that you do want to see. You can customize them. You can change them. You choose the way you engage with the mechanic you are engaging with. And on top of that, the way you get the points themselves in the Atlas tree is really cool, because it is all these quests of the Eater of Wars, the Maven, the City Nexar, the getting all the layout maps to get 1 point. Like all this thing in the end game, it is like you are in this progressing, it feels cool. How you get the Atlas points in Path of Exile 2 sucks dick. Cleans the corrupted sons. Nobody wants to do that shit. It is dog shit. And since you get all the trees for all the mechanics, you never feel that you are fully invested in any of them. You can do it via the precursor tablets, but not via your Atlas tree. The Atlas tree ends up being generic. Everybody has 80% of the Atlas tree is the same for everybody. It sucks. I do not see a world where they release 0.4, which is supposed to be a patch, focus on endgame, and they don't rework the Atlas tree in some way, shape, or form. Even if they leave the same way of getting points that we have right now, which it sucks, and I hope they change it, but even if we have the same way of getting points, the Atlas tree itself has to change.
I am expecting there to be some massive changes to the Atlas skill tree. I also think that when they say that there's going to be an endgame focus on the update, it's pretty fair to expect them to introduce new endgame bosses, which I wrote.
Maybe the bridge bosses that Jonathan talked about the other day. Maybe higher difficulties of the current bosses. That is more lame, but it can happen. I don't know.
Twice. And with that, and it being endgame, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to expect these things to also include Uber bosses. I also think that the announcement that they're going to announce in the reveal the month or date for the actual PoE 2 launch. My personal expectation is that I think they're going to launch Path of Exile 2 in December 2026. And
Try believes the same. Try also believes that they are going to release the game in December 2026. I am still on Hopium and Copium, and I think it will be August. Because if they release in December, it will be 2 years in early access, and that is too much to be in early access, man. I know that some other guys have done it, but why? Because other people have done it, you have to do it. Okay, Jonathan wanted to release the game on March and April, okay? And we know that it is unlikely the game will be ready by then, right? So let's push it back. You have August and December. And December, to me, it is too late. So that is why I am betting on August. But I'll be honest, guys. With every patch that comes out, I doubt more and more the August date, right? I doubt it more and more because although the patches are big and they have a lot of content, at the same time, you don't think that they have enough content to guarantee a patch a release for August. But if we take into consideration what Jonathan said that the game needs to release, he says the game needs a full campaign and the game needs a good enough balance. They are not going to release Act 5 in this patch, but there is a good possibility they release Act 5 in the March-April patch, right? And then you will release the game in August, focus on balance, and you can do it. You don't have to have all the classes in there. They have said that they are going to release the game with not all the classes. So in the August patch, you can release duelists in the 1.0 patch or in the 0.5 patch. And you release Act 5 and then Act 6 that they said it was going to be a short act. You can do it with the release. Like, I still believe the August patch is possible. Do I believe the December one is more likely with every single day that passes by? Yes, I do. I do. But I am still on Copion and Hopion, man. Let me dream.
I'd like to give you guys some comments around this, why I think this is the case in a TLDR fashion. So originally they said that they wanted the beta to last about a year, which would be now in December. The game is not launching in December.
Exactly. The original plan was the game, the full release of the game being released now. That was the original plan. Imagine that. And we are speculating for now, next year.
That means that for them to stay true to their 4-month cycles, which means that the next PoE 2 launch would be in March or April, depending on the date, right? That's not a good month to launch the game in, and they still have 2 acts. And I don't think we're going to see a new act in this launch. Jonathan has also said that they were hoping to push the launch for December, and if they couldn't make that, it was a higher probability the game would launch in March or April. But
that was what I told you guys. Jonathan was like aiming at the March-April thing. But they can delay it again, and that is why I say, well, if they wanted to release it in April, but it is not going to be ready, and December will be 2 years in early access, what is the best point? August. But we don't know. We don't know, man.
But I don't think that the game's going to be ready by then. Also, March, April is not a great month on the year to launch the game, which means it's more likely to happen on the release after. That would be around August. August is right after the summer break because Path of Exile 1 has the prime launch month or time frame of launching on the summer. That's Path of Exile 1. And the prime winter release is Path of Exile 2 for December. And I don't think they're going to launch their biggest launch ever in August.
Why not? Is August that bad of a month, man? I think it can drop. Why not? Why not? I understand December and July are better. That is true. That is true. But I don't think that August is intrinsically bad to release again, man.
So it's more likely, from my understanding, what I think is going to happen, that they launch the game in December instead to make that a massive thing. So that's why I think it's going to happen. And because
but it can happen that they withhold it. It is true that even if August is not a bad month to release the game, maybe December is too good of a month to release the game, and they say, you know what? Let's save this bad boy for December and make the big box. But also, if you release 1.0 in August, you release your first league ever for Path of Exile 2 after release on December. And that can be the craziest league ever, revolutionizing things. And that can also be big box, right? I think that either way, they will be fine.
Because of the fact that they've talked about the release date being now in December, they're not making that date. And the fact that Jonathan has also said that they wanted to have 3 successful launches in a row before the game launched with all the acts, that makes sense that it would happen in December next year as well. So that's my take on it and why I think it's going to happen. But I do believe they're going to make an announcement about the full release date because of these things. Moving on, we have new ascendancies for current classes, which I think is going to happen. There's some.
I do think this is going to happen. Okay, because there are some people that are on Copium saying that we are going to get 2 classes, another one with the Druid. I am not on that group. I think that we are only going to get the Druid. And if we were going to get a second class, they would have showed it with the teaser, and they would have incorporated it in the title somehow. They only showed the Druid. The thing is called the Druid. There is no second class in there, baby. Just believe it. But ascendancies for the current classes that are missing ascendancies, like the Monk, Ranger, Huntress, Sorcerers are missing the 3rd ascendancy. I can see that being the case. An ascendancy is way less work than a full class. It is still big, but we love ascendancies, It is big content, really cool, and I think they are going to do it. I don't know if for all of them, because if we are missing 4 ascendancies, maybe they drop 2, they drop 3. Maybe they don't drop all of them. But remember that in 0.2, when they dropped the Huntress, they dropped like 5 ascendancies for other classes, right? They dropped the Tactician, the Smith of Kitava. Well, for other classes, no. For including 2 more, including the Huntress. So maybe they release like 2 or 3 ascendancies, right, for the other classes.
Classes only have 2 ascendancies at the moment, and I think that they're going to keep filling these out with this new launch that's coming in 0.4 in December. I also believe that Toda, or Trial of the Ancestors, which is supposed to be the 3rd way of ascending your class into your ascendancies.
I'll be honest with you guys. I never played the Trial of the Ancestors when it was current in PoE 1. And I have heard polarized opinions. Some people really like it. Some people really hate it. How it was in PoE 1, we don't know how it will be in PoE 2. But I'll be honest with you, I am really excited about the Trial of the Ancestors coming to the game, and I hope we do get it with 0.4. Why? My favorite farming method right now in Path of Exile 2 is the Trial of Chaos. I hate the Trial of the Sekemas. Fuck the Trial of the Sekemas. But I like the Trial of Chaos. I know that some people hate it too, but I like it. I don't even care about the ascending part. I am talking about the farming part in the end game. I farm the Trial of Chaos in the end game to earn my currency. I normally like, I know I am the antithetical to the normal Path of Exile player. I normally like more mechanics that are out of maps than mechanics that are in the maps. Trial of Chaos being one of them. That is why I am excited about the Trial of the Ancestors, because I want it to be a good farming method at endgame outside of mapping. A new mechanic that I can learn and farm it and master it. That is why I want the Trial of the Ancestors. I want it to be good. I want it to be viable. I want it to come to 0.4. Let's see what happens, man.
Is going to have a 2.0 version of it, and we're going to see this in 0.4 as well, because there were 2 things that were cut because of scheduling, and that was the Druid and the 3rd Ascendancy. Both of those 2 did not make it in for 0.3, so it's very fair to expect them to happen in 0.4. When it comes to a new league mechanic, I definitely think we're going to see something like that, but it's more likely to yet again be a 2.0 version of an existing league mechanic from Path of Exile 1.
Do you want me to be honest with you guys? I am not expecting a big mechanic. You know what I am expecting for this league mechanic for PoE 2? Maybe it will feel weird for some people because it is back-to-back the same thing, but I am thinking that this rework they just did in PoE 1 for the bridge, they are going to put that rework in PoE 2, and that is going to be the league mechanic, because it is the least amount of work that you can do for the league, and then you can put more effort into the base game. Base game meaning the Druid, the Trial of the Ancestors, the other classes, the items, the systems, the endgame rework. That is base game. Instead of developing all this dog shit in a league, right? But at the same time, going back to back, bridge in PoE 1 and bridge in PoE 2, maybe it feels weird and they don't want to do it. But we know for sure that they are going to do a mechanic that already exists in PoE 1 because they said it in an interview. Before 0.1, we are always going to do a mechanic that already exists in PoE 1. And after 1.0, then we are going to start making new mechanics exclusive for PoE 2. So, from the mechanics that are in PoE 1, what are we going to get? If it is not Breach, I don't know. People are speculating Delve. I would love it if it is Delve. It is my favorite mechanic. I want it, but I am not convinced it is going to be Delve. Outside from Delve, I like Incursion, Alba. Do I think we are going to get it? I don't know. I am not convinced. But I am mentioning mechanics that I would like to see in PoE 2. Blight, I like Blight a lot. I don't know if they want to implement Blight in PoE 2 because of the present of the tower defense. But these are mechanics that I like. I like Harvest. Let's see what happens, man.
At least that is my personal understanding and take on this. Some things that we talked about that might show up or might not show up. By the way, shout out to DM for the formatting of this. I was watching his stream yesterday, and when he was doing this, it's a pretty good format, DM. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. So maybe tree form. The reason I say
I would love a tree form. I very much prefer a tree form than a wyvern form. Please, fuck the wyvern. Give me the tree. Give me the mushroom. I don't know. Something like that, you know.
tree form is because part of the GDPK files and the data mine information was making a lot of references to a form or a shapeshift state called where tree.
Okay, so it is in the files. It is in the files, boys. So the tree dream is alive.
There's a shitload of placeholders for this. Like there's a...
If you get the tree transformation, that implies that you will have nodes in your tree to both your tree transformation. So you will have a tree on a tree, right? Which will be awesome. Maybe it will even have 3 layers, a tree on a tree on a tree. I don't know.
A lot of data calling for this, a lot of rigging metadata calling for other forms, but the where tree has an entry in the shapeshifting file pointing to non-existing metadata files. Maybe it's a thing, maybe it's not. Where tree, like where tree. I don't know. We'll see.
Give me the where tree.
Some people in chat was talking about spell totem coming. It's possible we might see a spell totem coming. It would be pretty cool to see how they...
It definitely can happen. We have the slam torrent with the ancient, the torrent of the ancients or the ancient torrent. We have the cannon torrent that drops grenades. We can have a spell torrent or maybe a specific type of spells. Because we don't have an attack torrent, we have a slam torrent. The strikes that are attacks don't work. So maybe you have a torrent that makes a specific spells work. Maybe only fire spells, maybe only lightning spells, maybe only all the spells. I don't know.
Do that. I'd be very interested to see if that's going to happen, but I put it in a question mark for my personal take. Some things that I think will not come in point 4 is new acts or acts.
I agree completely. I don't think Act 5 is coming.
I also don't think they're going to see any other new classes outside of the Druid. I think that the amount of...
Agree completely again. People that are thinking that we are going to get another class are on copium. And I understand that you want another class. I want it too, man. But we have to be realistic in here, boys. It is not happening, man. It is not happening.
Work and effort they put in and marketing they put in on releasing new classes doesn't compute with the idea of them pumping up the Druid and then like, oh yeah, by the way, here's an assassin, or by the way, here's a Templar. I think they're gonna blow those things up and market them heavily and also put a lot more effort into it than just having it as a side thing. So I don't think we're gonna see any other new classes outside the Druid for point 4. New league mechanic. When I say new league mechanic, I mean new league mechanic, as in not a 2.0 version of an existing.
I agree with this too, because Jonathan said it explicitly that before 1.0 or up until 1.0, maybe even including 1.0, I don't know. But up until that point, he said that all of the mechanics are going to be reused mechanics. Maybe improved, maybe reworked, maybe adapted to Path of Exile 2, but taken from Path of Exile 1. And I'll be honest, I agree with this perspective. I know that there are people that don't like it because, no, we want new things for PoE 2. PoE 2 will get new things eventually after the game is released. I agree with this perspective because there are a lot of good mechanics in PoE 1 that with an update to PoE 2 would be awesome. So if you already have something that is good, that works, that people like it, and you have a quicker way of getting into the game in PoE 2 while you are in this development cycle that is the hardest part, why not do it? It is stupid at that point not to do it, you know?
I don't think that'll happen at all. I know we have them all in another prediction.
It will be harder to do if all the mechanics you have in PoE 1 are dog shit. But we have a bunch of cool mechanics in PoE 1 that I will be very excited to see in PoE 2.
Here being a new league mechanic, but it being a 2.0 version, and I don't think we're going to see a non 2.0 version. I don't think we're going to see a brand new league mechanic. It'd be cool if we do, but I don't think it's going to come. But that is my predictions and expectations for the 0.4 last of the Druid patch for Path of Exile 2 coming this December. I'm going to have a lot of good times with this. We're going to league start with Druid. We're going to make a wyvern build if it comes to that. If we get a wyvern form, I'll make a medium build, of course. I'm going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have a subathon. I just recently, before this stream that I'm live on right now, that's why I record this, bought a plane ticket for my little sister. She's coming down to help me with the subathon as well.
Nice.
And we're going to make it bigger than ever. There's some crazy shit happening. Hope you guys will enjoy that. But let me do me a favor and leave a comment down below what you expect to see and what your predictions are for the 0.4 patch. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe and keep rocking.
I am always rocking, man. That was a nice video, dude. Thank you, Gazi. I did like that video a lot. I think that is a good fucking video. I agree with a lot of what he said. The only part that I disagree is that I think the wyvern sucks. But all the other things, dude, pretty cool, pretty cool. And I agree with a lot of his predictions. And I agree 100% with his not predictions, like the things that we are not getting. I agree 100%. And yes, dude, great, awesome video, Gazzy. Thank you so much, baby. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also, remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. God bless you. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.